On this episode, I share with you reasons to not buy that house. Welcome everyone to episode 030 of the Ask Jason Gelios show. I'm your host, Jason Gelios. Thanks for tuning in. There's a lot of things that you could be watching, and you are watching this, so I really appreciate it. Special thank you to everyone who comments, sends in questions, asks me the questions in person as well, and shares this. I really appreciate that. That means a lot to me. So with that said, I want to share with you a couple of things that I'm going to be covering. One is somebody was asking me, what is a land contract? And so I'm going to briefly cover that, and then I'm going to share with you 5 reasons why you should not buy that house that you're thinking of buying. So buying can be an emotional thing when you're out there looking at houses, and you want to make sure that you are of sound mind when you are thinking of placing an offer and purchasing a home. So we're going to cover those, but I want to share with you a fun fact about the number 30, and that is in one of the greatest movies of all time, Back to the Future. Marty McFly, the main character, went back in time 30 years. So for those of you who know about Back to the Future, Marty McFly, fun fact about number 30, Marty McFly went back in time 30 years, which sounds crazy because I've watched that show about, I don't know, whenever it came out. So, okay, let's get into it and answer these questions. Somebody was recently asking me what a land contract is, and so I want to give you the formal definition of a land contract, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. So a land contract is a form of seller financing. So instead of obtaining your financing from a lender or bank, same thing, you essentially pay the homeowner or the seller. And so you figure out a payment, they figure out terms, are they going to hold it for X amount of years or whatnot, and then there you go. Now there's a lot of benefits of a land contract and some cons as well with anything in life, but I just want to let you know that a land contract is seller financing. So I want to share with the benefits because I don't want to cover too many cons of it because there's more benefits than cons. But obviously the one con would be that the seller still owns the home and they are basically collecting payments, and so that could be a process in itself. But at the same time, that could be great for the seller because they can, build wealth that way, almost like a landlord. So some benefits are, one of the major advantages of a land contract over a regular mortgage is that land contracts do not require as many guidelines, if any, well, there's always guidelines in everything, but for the most part, you can have poor credit. It's up to the seller to look at your credit report and determine if you would be a good fit. So most of the time I see people doing land contracts, and I don't see a lot of them, but it's usually people who can't get a regular loan, but they can make the payment. And so they search out, or their agent searches out land contract deals, and they try to get their buyer a home that way. So but ultimately the seller decides whether or not you get approved for the land contract. So that's a land contract in a nutshell. So you might be wondering, why would a real estate agent such as myself actually share reasons why you shouldn't buy a house? And that's because oftentimes the general buyer feels that, or the general population for that matter, feels that a real estate agent is just trying to get you into a home and get on. Well, that's not always the case, at least with agents that I know, including myself. We want our clients to be happy, and we want you to refer people to us. And so we always look out for our home buyers' best needs as well as our home sellers. So I'm going to share with you 5 signs why you shouldn't buy that house that you have in mind, and these may not apply. You may love the house and none of these matter, but these are factors that you want to look at before placing an offer or having your agent place an offer in on a home that you want to move forward on. Okay, so number one is pretty obvious: big ticket repairs. Unless you can afford to make a lot of repairs, most home buyers can't. They're looking to get in and do minimum work. When you have your inspection, if there's a lot of things going on, if the house needs a new furnace, new AC, new roof, all these things, new walkway, okay, if that's too big of a ticket repair for you, then chances are you shouldn't buy that house. Number two is poor local economy. Take a look at the economy, which if you're working with a realtor, they can help you out with that. If you are looking at purchasing a house and the local economy is tanking, whether it's based on, let's say, the big three, for example, or oil field, or wherever you are, you know, Hollywood, wherever you are, you want to make sure that the local economy is good, because you want to hopefully see your home value go up, your equity go up. So number three, it doesn't hit your numbers. You have a budget, you have a plan in mind, and you see this house and you want to move forward on a house that is outside of your budget. I don't recommend that, because you want to be comfortable, because things can happen when you own a home, and you don't want to be house poor and not be able to afford something that goes wrong, because things will go wrong in a home. It just doesn't matter, it's life. So that's number three. Number four is too many vacancies. Are there a lot of vacant homes around? Again, your realtor can provide that information for you, but take a drive around. Are there a lot of empty houses around? Do you see a lot of for sale signs? Are people trying to get out? You know, a great example of this is if you're familiar with Macomb Township. Those who are watching this are mostly local. Macomb Township off a 23-mile road, right, between North Avenue and like Fairchild, I believe. They're going to widen that, and there's a bunch of for sale signs. So you might not mind that, but if you see a bunch of for sale signs and people are trying to vacate, then keep that in mind, because that could affect your value. Number five, it feels too good to be true. It might feel too good to be true, everything that they're offering in the home. This one's a little bit tough with me, because you know that you might not have high standards when you're looking at a home, and I say that cautiously, but in other words, you might want a fixer-upper because you know the potential's there. You might now, actually, going back to that note, if the house is completely perfect and everything's all shiny and you know, then you want to make sure that you have a good gut instinct, right? There's a gut instinct that all humans have, I feel, and if it feels like it's too good to be true, like the seller's too willing to do stuff, take a second look at it. I'm not saying walk away from that, but take a second look at that and make sure that everything is good. Always have an inspection on a house that you are thinking of purchasing. Don't ever skimp on the inspection. So those are 5 signs of why you shouldn't buy that house. That concludes episode 030 of the Ask Jason Gelios show. I really appreciate you guys watching. You know, do me a solid and share this with people you know. A lot of you have, and I really appreciate that. Continue to share this. Like, comment, subscribe. You can follow me on Facebook. Just search Ask Jason Gelios show. All those links are below. Feel free to comment. Good comments, bad comments, whatever. Just keep it clean, please. But I want to know what you guys think. And if you have a question, you can submit your question in the comments, or you can reach out to me. It's all about therealestate.com. Okay, so question of the week, and then we'll wrap this up. Do you prefer having mostly privacy in the front of your yard, or do you like it open? In other words, I see some houses where the landscape's completely open and you can see right in their window. People walking by, their dogs and stuff, they just glance. It's you know, human nature. Or do you like a bunch of trees in front of your house to where they can't see right into your house? So, do you like privacy in your front yard or not? Comment below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next week. Hey, have you guys hit the subscribe button yet? If not, please do so, because I don't want you guys to miss out on valuable information. So, and while you're at it, you can visit my website. It's allabouttherealestate.com. Thanks for watching.